Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOBH alum Kim Richards was placed on psych hold after relapse and confrontation with Kyle Richards. Kim Richards' family has allegedly cut all contact with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Alum amid claims she has relapsed. It's been reported that things between Kim and her younger sister, Kyle Richards, are in a rocky place again because she fell off the wagon. Neither Kim nor Kyle has spoken to the media about what's been happening in the family, but TMZ reported that all is not well. According to the media outlet, there was an incident in early September between the two sisters that ultimately led to Kim being placed on psychiatric hold. It has been a long and rocky road for the Richards sisters as their tumultuous relationship played out during the first few seasons of RHOBH. Much of their issues centered around Kim's drinking, and she eventually left the show to get help. In 2015, she was arrested for public drunkenness after causing a disturbance at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and she was arrested a second time that year for suspicion of shoplifting. After attempting to get her life back on track, Kim had a setback in 2019 and was hospitalized for mental health and sobriety issues. Things appeared to be going well in recent years, but now she's back in the news again. According to TMZ, Kim has been shut out by her entire family, who are taking the tough love route with the 60-year-old because we're told she's fallen off the wagon. Kim was staying at a Los Angeles property owned by the RHOBH star, who reportedly called law enforcement on Wednesday night to have her sister removed from the home. Reports are that the Bravo housewife had allowed her sister to live in the home, but she had moved out some time ago. However, Kim reportedly showed up again on Wednesday night, and Kyle allegedly wanted her gone because the family had cut all contact off in hopes it would shake Kim and get her sober again. Meanwhile, Kim is reportedly still in the home as Kyle was informed it was a civil matter, and she needs to file an eviction notice to have her sister removed. Law enforcement sources also shared with the media outlet that in early September there was another incident involving the Richards sisters. Kim was at a Hilton hotel in the LA area and was incoherent, and Kyle was also at the location. The police were called, and when they asked Kim to leave the location, she reportedly refused and was placed on a 5150 psychiatric hold and later taken by ambulance to a hospital. The lavish and luxurious world of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, RHOBH, has always been a stage for both opulence and drama. However, behind the glitzy facade, the show has also exposed some deeply personal struggles, none more so than those of Kim Richards, an original cast member whose battle with addiction has played out publicly for years. Recent reports indicate that Kim's ongoing struggles have reached a critical point, resulting in her being placed on a psychiatric hold following a relapse and a volatile confrontation with her younger sister, Kyle Richards. Kim, a former child star, has had a tumultuous relationship with sobriety. Over the years, her journey has been marked by triumphs and heartbreaking setbacks. Those who have followed her story know that the bond between her and Kyle has always been strained, with their complex sibling dynamic often serving as a central storyline on RHOBH. Now it seems that this fragile relationship has once again reached a breaking point. The confrontation. Sources close to the family reveal that tensions between Kim and Kyle had been simmering for weeks. What began as concern on Kyle's part over Kim's recent erratic behavior escalated into a full-blown confrontation. Kyle, known for her protective instincts and deep-seated worry for her sister, reportedly approached Kim with concerns about her sobriety after noticing several red flags, missed family events, canceled plans, and uncharacteristic outbursts of anger. The confrontation, which took place at Kyle's home, quickly spiraled out of control. What started as a heart-to-heart turned into a heated argument, with years of unresolved pain bubbling to the surface. Kyle, emotional and frustrated, pleaded with Kim to seek help before things worsened. Kim, however, was not in a receptive state of mind. Friends of the family describe her as defensive and agitated, lashing out at Kyle for what she perceived as constant judgment and criticism. The argument intensified, with both sisters exchanging harsh words, neither willing to back down. Kyle loves her sister deeply, an insider shares. But she's always walked a fine line between trying to help Kim and feeling like she's enabling her. This time, Kyle decided to be firm, and that didn't sit well with Kim. She feels like Kyle is always playing the role of the responsible one, and that makes her feel inadequate, even more so when she's struggling with sobriety. A painful relapse. Kim's relapse is said to have been a slow descent, exacerbated by the pressures of her personal life and the lingering trauma of her past. While she had maintained her sobriety for several years following a rehab stint, sources suggest that Kim began to struggle again in recent months, possibly due to unresolved emotional pain and a sense of isolation. Without the structured support system she had during her time in treatment, Kim reportedly fell back into old patterns, seeking solace in the substances that had once provided her with temporary relief. Kyle, who has long acted as Kim's emotional anchor, was well aware of the signs of relapse. But confronting her sister about it proved to be the trigger for their explosive confrontation. As tensions mounted, Kyle's attempt to get Kim to seek professional help was met with fierce resistance. She feels betrayed by Kyle, says a source close to Kim. She's always felt like Kyle is more concerned about how Kim's behavior reflects on her own image, rather than Kim's well-being. When Kyle confronted her, Kim saw it as another attack rather than an act of love. The psychiatric hold. After the argument, things took an even darker turn. Kim reportedly left Kyle's house in a state of emotional distress. Concerned for her sister's safety, Kyle reached out to close friends and family, asking them to keep an eye on Kim. Unfortunately, it soon became clear that Kim's mental health was in a rapid decline. Her behavior grew increasingly erratic, and loved ones feared she might harm herself or others. It was then that Kim's children stepped in. With her mental and emotional state deteriorating, they made the difficult decision to have her placed on a 5150 psychiatric hold, a legal measure in California that allows for involuntary hospitalization of individuals deemed a danger to themselves or others. According to insiders, this decision was not made lightly. But after days of worsening behavior, it was clear that Kim needed professional help to stabilize her condition. The family was heartbroken, but they knew it was the only way to ensure her safety, the source reveals. Kim's kids love her so much, and they've been through this with her before. They didn't want to see her go down that path again. The road ahead. As Kim remains in a psychiatric facility under observation, her family is rallying around her. Kyle, despite the painful argument that preceded Kim's hospitalization, is said to be deeply concerned for her sister and has been in constant communication with Kim's doctors, hoping that this crisis will lead to a new beginning for her sibling. However, the path forward is uncertain. While Kim has been through treatment before, those close to her worry that the years of addiction and recovery have taken their toll. There is also the added strain of her complicated relationship with Kyle, a bond fraught with love, resentment, and unresolved wounds. It's always been hard for Kim to accept help, especially from Kyle, says an insider. She feels like Kyle doesn't understand her, but at the same time, she knows that Kyle's heart is in the right place. It's a constant push and pull between them. As Kim undergoes treatment, there are hopes that this latest setback will ultimately serve as a turning point. Those closest to her remain cautiously optimistic, believing that Kim has the strength and resilience to reclaim her sobriety and repair her relationship with her family. Kyle's guilt and hope. For Kyle, the situation is equally heartbreaking. She has always been Kim's biggest champion, even when their relationship has been strained. Now, as Kim faces another uphill battle, Kyle is left grappling with feelings of guilt and helplessness. Friends say that Kyle feels torn between wanting to help Kim and recognizing that her involvement may sometimes do more harm than good. Kyle just wants her sister to be okay, says a friend of the family. She would do anything for Kim, but she's learning that sometimes you have to let people find their own way. It's incredibly painful for her, but she's holding on to the hope that this could be a fresh start for Kim. For now, the Richards family remains in a state of uncertainty, hoping that Kim's time in treatment will lead to a brighter, more stable future. Only time will tell if this latest crisis will mark the beginning of a new chapter in Kim's long and challenging journey.